Good morning, and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy Show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, how early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, and 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Today, guys, we're talking about peace and the import of accessing peace even in unpeaceful times. So thanks for being here. We have a really interesting day planned today. You can go to productivethroughjoy.com, see about us. Holla. We have an amazing series of workshops, uh, webinars, and other offerings aimed at individuals and organizations, helping them enhance the level of productivity and do so through joy, via using joy as a technology, a really innovative program. So you can learn quite a bit about it there on the website, and or just holla and we'll holla back. So thanks for joining us. Allow me to say a few words about myself. For those of you who are new to the show, this is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher, author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, author of the acclaimed historical novel America's, author of the Pulitzer Prize nominated Animating Black and Brown Liberation, a theory of American literatures. I am the board president of a wonderful nonprofit here in Los Angeles called The World Stage, 7 days a week of extraordinary arts education, writing, jazz, drumming, really a beautiful nonprofit here in LA's Crenshaw District. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergrad, my master's from UCLA, and my PhD in English Lit from the University of California at Riverside. Guys, I'm an expert at being productive, all right? I don't say that to brag or boast. I said because people are oftentimes surprised to hear, let me clear my throat, that level of productivity, given how crazy my own personal background is. I am the product of a young girl, actually, who was assaulted at age 16, gave birth to me at 17, then subsequently gave me up for adoption to a single divorcee. So at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD. So as Kumodi famously said, how you liking me now? Right? And if I can be this productive and be so through joy, I know many people can in their own way, in their own lane, and that really inspires this show because I know it's not where you're from, right? It's where you're about to go. So thanks for joining me this morning. Let's dive into today's topic. We're talking about peace, and point one is that peace is possible. At times when we're going through for example, times like these when we're going through such a rancorous, difficult, troubling time, given the country's leadership, which is why we still have COVID and kids not being back in school. If you're a parent, you know this is craziness when you have to take care of your family, but also have child care for kids who are not in school. This is just a fiasco. And when the people in charge don't do their job, it's just everyone suffers. That's why leadership is so important. Just as a side note, go vote. Let me tell you, super important. This time around especially. But during unpeaceful times, you think, man, can I ever get some peace? I know for me, if you know the show, I've shared a couple of times that at times during this COVID era, I call it the COVID blues. Like, just for no reason in particular, I'll just be super exhausted and sad, hard to get out of bed, just like, I think just the weight of all that has happened, and not just to me and my immediate we, but the planet, people dying, the person in charge lying, not really doing his job to help people, the racism. I mean, just it's a lot to have to deal with as an African American person. Certainly, it's hard for everyone, for sure, right now. And if you're walking down the street as a black person dealing with all that you have to deal with, I mean, it's a lot, So it can really make you super unpeaceful, make you want to just medicate on something. I was sharing with some friends of my lady Carmen, I haven't been drinking at all or doing anything except drinking coffee during COVID-19 because I know that, alcohol is even a glass of wine, it's a depressant. So I don't want to have anything in my body that could be depressing to me during these depressing times. And the point is that during these types of very unpeaceful times, it's hard to even believe that you can have peace. So point one is that you actually can. You want to believe that peace is possible because form does follow thought. And if you believe peace is possible, that's the first chance, the first step to achieving that inner peace. Well, point two was, how do you get to inner peace in this context, of this present historical moment? Well, if you know this show, you know we talk a lot about meditation and spiritual practice, or we can call it energetic practice if you like. So, just as an aside, so I'm reading. So I get up in the morning and to prepare for the show, but also just for myself, I read. I do some spiritual reading and do a bunch of other things as well. But so now I'm reading through a book by Thich Nhat Hanh. I've been reading his books the last couple months. He's a great. He's dead now. He's a Buddhist monk, activist, extraordinary cat. I mean, this guy is high level, from Vietnam. He has this really. I'm reading the book now called How to Fight, basically, which is a book about, from a spiritual perspective, like using breath and compassion and love for others and yourself to fight for justice. I mean, it's a really interesting, powerful book, but also just fight for your relationships. It's a really interesting book. Anyway, so what's the point of this little story? About peace. Oh, so point two is that you want to do something. We encourage you don't have to, but we encourage you to create hopefully in the morning, because life happens all day, create a morning ritual that you may be undergirded, supported, to feed yourself, to strengthen yourself every day during these times. Reading Thich Nhat Hanh, or as I do, or running, or meditating, all those things, or, writing, praying, all these things will not make all your problems go away. You will always have some damn problems. But what it does enable you to do is to help yourself. So I'm a proponent for, if therapy can help you, I'm saying go do it. If someone can give you some counseling, take advantage of it. And I'm also saying there's also a power as a complement to that. At times people need prescribed medication, for various maladies. If that's what you need, at least in the short term, take it, right? I'm for it. It's not my thing, but I see for other folks it's worked great. I'm like, do it, right? And I'm saying also, you want to do some work to, I'll just call it, to heal yourself. And if you know this show, we talk a lot about meditation, Pilates, yoga, running, meditation, etc., because those modalities are things that one can do by yourself and for yourself. And there's an extraordinary power in basically healing yourself. You still can do the other stuff. You still can, and also being in community, being around people. We can't do that fully now because of COVID, but it could be an online community. You want to be able to heal thyself, which goes into point three. As you begin to know that peace is possible, then you begin to engage in a ritualized spiritual practice, meaning every day as a part of your lifestyle. You're going to see an absolute uptick in your level of peace. And when you're at peace, you are going to have more energy, because people were commenting about the crazy debate, how off the rails Trump was at the debate. And of course, Biden was trying to defend himself, and as you have to, that clown, as Biden called him, hollering at you and fighting with the moderator was so. People were saying how exhausting it was. Because a lot of us have children, we're trying to expose our kids to the civic process, and people were commenting that they had allowed their kids to watch the debate. It was their first debate, And CNN was reporting, because they were doing this live, people were texting the host saying, "Oh yeah, I let my kids watch, my daughter watched, my daughter watched the debate, and she left the room screaming and crying." I mean, think about how crazy that is, because it was so chaotic and unpleasant. So when you are peaceful, and how exhausting that was. When you have peace, you have more energy, you have more power to do what needs to be done for your family, your community, and yourself. And that's what it's all about, being productive through joy. Boom, goes to dynamite. That's all we have for today's show, guys. We'll see you this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces.